Fellow warriors, today we face an enemy lurking in the shadows, a silent killer of potential and strength. It's a force that preys on the weak and unsuspecting, silently poisoning minds, corrupting hearts, and destroying lives. I'm talking about porn addiction, an invisible chain wrapped around your spirit, but not anymore. Today, we will expose the truth, dismantle the myths, and take back control. This isn't a topic we shy away from. No more brushing it under the rug. No more pretending it's harmless. This is a war for your mind, your future, and everything you could become. It's time to gear up. Let's dive into what causes porn addiction, how to recognize it, and the destructive effects it has on your life. First, let's understand the mechanics behind it. How does something as seemingly harmless as a video on a screen turn into a life-consuming addiction? It starts in your brain. More specifically, your brain's reward center, also known as the limbic system. Every time you view porn, your brain releases a powerful chemical, dopamine. Dopamine is the feel-good hormone, and in small doses, it's responsible for motivation, pleasure, and reward. But here's the catch. Porn floods your brain with unnaturally high levels of dopamine, much like hard drugs. Over time, your brain adjusts to this flood by reducing the number of dopamine receptors. Think about that for a second. What used to bring you pleasure, excitement, and joy no longer satisfies. You start needing more porn, more extreme content, just to feel something. The mind adapts to this unnatural stimulation. What started as a simple indulgence has now rewired your brain. Fellow warriors, you've been hacked. Your brain's wiring has been altered to crave more, leading to a vicious cycle of dependency. The same mechanism at play in addiction to substances like cocaine or heroin is at work here. This isn't just speculation. Research shows that regular porn use overactivates the brain's reward system, leading to a state called hypofrontality, a condition where the brain's ability to make decisions, control impulses, and evaluate consequences is severely compromised. Essentially, you lose control. You aren't fully aware of the damage it's causing because your brain has become desensitized. Fellow warriors, the path to destruction is often subtle. Porn addiction doesn't come with a flashing red light. You may not even realize it's creeping into every aspect of your life until you're deep in the pit. So how do you know? Here are the telltale signs that porn has claimed control over you. Loss of control. You tell yourself you'll quit. You delete the bookmarks, throw out your subscriptions, and block the sites. But the cravings come back, stronger each time. You promise yourself, this is the last time, but it never is. Does this sound familiar? This is one of the clearest signs that you are no longer in control. Your brain, hijacked by addiction, is running the show. Time consumption. Ask yourself, how much time do you spend scrolling, searching, watching? It starts with a few minutes here and there, but suddenly hours have gone by. Time that could have been invested in bettering yourself, in learning new skills, in building relationships, wasted. You become a slave to the screen. Escalation. What excited you before no longer cuts it. You find yourself seeking out more extreme content, darker, more graphic, more taboo. This is the addiction growing. Just like any drug, your brain craves a higher dose to feel the same effect. You push boundaries you never thought you would cross, but you do. And with each boundary crossed, a piece of your soul erodes, neglecting responsibilities. Your work suffers. Your focus plummets. You're falling behind on tasks that once came easy. You start withdrawing from real-life activities and relationships, feeling disconnected from the people around you. You may miss deadlines, blow off social events, and become increasingly isolated. The addiction takes precedence over everything. Withdrawal symptoms. You try to stop, but suddenly you feel anxious, irritable, restless. Your mind constantly drifts back to it, seeking that next hit of dopamine. These are withdrawal symptoms, fellow warriors. Porn, like any addiction, has now hardwired itself into your brain, creating a dependency. Without it, you feel an unsettling emptiness. Warriors, make no mistake, porn addiction isn't a harmless habit. It has far-reaching, devastating consequences that can destroy your potential and your life. Let's break down exactly how. Mental fog and cognitive decline. One of the first casualties of porn addiction is your mind. The ability to focus, to think clearly, and to solve problems deteriorates. You become a prisoner of distraction. Studies have shown that prolonged exposure to porn reduces gray matter in the brain, literally shrinking the areas responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and motivation. Instead of being sharp and mentally alert, your brain is in a constant fog, preoccupied by cravings. Emotional detachment. Porn rewires your brain to crave instant gratification. Real relationships, real intimacy. They take effort, vulnerability, and connection. But porn teaches you that sex is a transactional, one-sided experience, void of emotion, commitment, or real value. Over time, this leads to emotional detachment in your real-life relationships. You become numb to real love and intimacy, sabotaging the ability to form deep, meaningful connections. Imagine this. You're standing in front of someone you care about deeply, but you can't feel it. You can't connect because you've trained your brain to detach. Erectile dysfunction and sexual dissatisfaction. One of the most destructive effects of porn addiction is its impact on sexual health. More and more young men are experiencing erectile dysfunction, not because of physical problems, but because their brains have become desensitized to real-world intimacy. Studies have shown that porn-induced ED is on the rise, with men needing more extreme, graphic content to feel aroused. Not only does this create a disconnection with real-life partners, but it also leads to feelings of inadequacy, shame, and embarrassment. Social isolation. Porn addiction is a lonely habit. Over time, you retreat into yourself, avoiding social situations and isolating from friends, family, and potential partners. You feel the shame, the guilt, and the overwhelming sense of failure. The world outside seems daunting, while the world of instant pleasure becomes your escape. But this escape leads to more loneliness, more depression, and more self-loathing. Self-esteem destruction. Deep down, you know this habit is beneath you. You feel the shame after every binge, the guilt that weighs heavy on your mind. And that shame, it erodes your self-worth. It tells you that you're weak, that you're not enough, that you're failing. Over time, porn strips away your confidence, leaving you feeling hollow and unworthy of real relationships, success, and happiness. Fellow warriors, this battle is not just about breaking free from a habit. It's about reclaiming your life. Every time you indulge in porn, you are trading away a piece of your potential. You are handing over your mind, your strength, and your future to something that offers nothing but destruction. But you are not weak. You are not a slave to this. The chains can be broken. You are warriors, capable of discipline, strength, and focus. You have the power to take control of your mind, to rise above this addiction, and to become the best version of yourself. It won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Break the cycle, take back control, and rise stronger. Your future self, the warrior within, is waiting for you.